Section 12, Ethical Disclosure Practices. A few weeks after helping her buyers find their new home, Sarah received another listing, this time in Mesa. As she walks through the property with the sellers, everything appeared to be in excellent condition until they reached the backyard. The seller casually pointed toward a section of the block wall. "We had a pretty good crack there after last year's monsoon," he said. "We patched it ourselves, and it hasn't been a problem since." Sarah paused. "Was the damage inspected or repaired by a contractor?" The seller shook his head. "No, and honestly, I don't think it's worth mentioning." Instead of responding immediately, Sarah remembered David's advice. When you're unsure, don't guess. Ask. The next morning, she met with David. He opened the Arizona Administrative Code to AAC R4-28-1101. This rule requires every Arizona licensee to exercise reasonable care, protect their clients' lawful interests, and deal fairly with all parties. One of the easiest ways to violate that rule is by failing to disclose information that could influence a buyer's decision. Sarah asked, "But what if the seller doesn't think it's important?" David smiled. "That's exactly why we're here." He explained that buyers and sellers often have different opinions about what matters. A seller may view a roof leak, foundation crack, or plumbing issue as a minor inconvenience because they've lived with it for years. A buyer, however, may consider that same issue a deciding factor in whether to purchase the property. That's why Arizona uses the word material, David explained. A material fact is information that could reasonably affect a buyer's decision to purchase the property or influence the price they're willing to pay. Imagine you're representing a seller in Flagstaff. During the listing appointment, the seller tells you the furnace stopped working twice during the winter, but says, "It works now, so let's not worry about it." What would you do? Here's where many agents get into trouble. Some licensees mistakenly believe disclosure is only necessary after a buyer asks the right question. Experienced Arizona brokers know that's not how professional disclosure works. Instead, realtors should encourage sellers to complete the Seller's Property Disclosure Statement, SPDS, accurately and completely. The SPDS isn't simply another form in the transaction file. It's an opportunity for sellers to share known information that helps buyers make informed decisions. David reminded Sarah that the Realtor Code of Ethics reinforces these same expectations. Article 2 requires realtors to avoid exaggeration, misrepresentation, and concealment of pertinent facts relating to a property or transaction. Notice something important, David said. It doesn't require realtors to become home inspectors. It doesn't require us to discover hidden defects. But if we know about something that could affect the transaction, we can't simply ignore it. He shared a story from several years earlier. A seller failed to mention repeated water intrusion in a finished basement. The listing agent knew about the problem, but assumed the buyer's home inspection would uncover it. It didn't. 6 months after closing, heavy rain caused extensive flooding. The buyer filed a complaint. The investigation wasn't really about the water damage, David explained. It was about what everyone knew before closing. Experienced brokers understand that honest disclosure protects everyone involved in the transaction. Buyers receive the information they need to make informed decisions. Sellers reduce the likelihood of future disputes. And licensees demonstrate the professionalism expected under Arizona law and the Realtor Code of Ethics. The best realtors don't look for ways to avoid difficult conversations. They understand that those conversations often prevent the biggest problems. As we continue to the next section, we'll explore how these same ethical principles apply to advertising and marketing properties, where truthful representations are just as important as truthful disclosures. Online Discussion 1. Why is the disclosure of material facts important, even if a seller believes the issue is minor? Answer. A seller may view a condition differently than a buyer. Material facts are those that could reasonably influence a buyer's decision or the price they are willing to pay. Proper disclosure allows buyers to make informed decisions, reduces disputes after closing, and helps protect both the seller and the licensee. 2. Imagine a seller asks you not to mention a recurring plumbing problem because it is working fine today. How would you respond? I would explain that Arizona licensees have a legal and ethical responsibility to deal honestly with all parties. I would encourage the seller to accurately complete the SPDS, discuss the potential consequences of failing to disclose the issue, and consult my employing broker if additional guidance is needed. Why does the Realtor Code of Ethics focus on honesty rather than expecting realtors to discover every hidden defect? Answer. Realtors are not engineers, contractors, or home inspectors. Their responsibility is to avoid misrepresentation and disclose known material facts. Buyers should still conduct inspections, but realtors must communicate honestly about information they know or reasonably should know during the transaction.